Hey everybody. In this video, I am going to try to show you how I converted a Great Plains UCAN-Do 60 size from nitro to electric. I started building this plane 12 years ago, and I finally decided it's time to finish it. I was going to put a 91 four-stroke on it, but the engine was in a crash and it didn't run very good before the crash, and after putting it on the bench for a couple of nights, decided I wasn't going to use it. Getting back into the hobby this summer, I bought a couple of electric planes and I found them quite satisfying as far as their power to weight ratio, but they came ready to fly and I just had to bind them with the radio. This airplane is bigger than any of those, and so I had really no idea what to buy for the power plant. Fortunately, there's a bunch of great guys at the flying club that I joined this summer, and they've been very helpful. My friend Rob was nice enough to do some research on the weight of the airplane and came up with a power plant solution for me. Told me what to buy and where to get it and sent me the links. So thank you, Rob. I bought the X-Power 22 motor, the Talon 90 ESC, a 6S battery, 4,000 milliamp hours, as well as the Falcon 16.7 wood prop for electrics. I figured out where the front of the motor should be and worked my way back to the firewall, where then I built a motor box that would be the right size to put the motor where it was supposed to be. Then I attached the motor and laid the ESC on top of the motor box, which is where I was going to install it. Checking the center of gravity, I put the battery where it was going to have to go to balance the plane, and it was right underneath the fuel tank. I didn't want to put the battery hatch on the bottom, but ultimately that's where it went, and I had to build a little stand to work on the airplane, so I figured I'll just bring the stand to the field, and that way I can swap out the batteries. I cut out the bottom of the fuel compartment to make room for the new hatch. The battery is a little bit thinner one direction than the other, and it only fits one way. I tried a couple of things making a battery tray, but I ended up just making one shaped like a kind of an L. And I rested the front part of it on the lower part of the firewall and secured the back part of it to part of a former that was remaining inside the fuel compartment. The battery tray itself has the spiky part of the Velcro as the bed of the tray. I used the same side of the Velcro on the battery. Now it doesn't stick it to it, but it does keep it from moving forward and backward. I used 3 Velcro straps to go around the battery tray, and these are the kind that have the Velcro on both sides so you can wrap it over itself and it will stick to itself. I put little spacers on the bottom of the tray and then another strip of wood over top of the spacers, locking the Velcro in place but still allowing it to slip back and forth. The wiring for the ESC was not working out very well if I tried to mount it directly to the motor box, so I made an additional little platform which I think also aids in some of the cooling, especially since I cut holes in the front of the cowling that line right up with it. I had bought magnets because I expected to make a cover plate for it, but after putting the battery in, I didn't feel it necessary. It's fine the way it is. Just Velcro it in, and if somebody looks at the bottom of the plane and sees a battery, so what? Here's a clip of the control surfaces and a little run-up in the garage before I took it to the field. Unfortunately, most of the flying footage is really out of focus and pretty much unusable, so I'll spare you. The manual says don't expect fabulous 3D performance using S148 servos, but that's exactly what I have in there. They're the servos that I had when I started building the thing, and they're already in the wing, so I may swap them out at some point in time, but at this point, it's just not a super fast roller, but it does fly really well.
Can do. You can do it. So they say. Now keep your eye on the plane. Don't be posing for the camera.
Okie dokie. When you get out to the runway, I'll grab you a chair.
Oh, thanks.